Have you ever paused for a moment, perhaps in the middle of a busy day, and asked yourself, where do we come from? Why are we here? What's the true purpose of human existence? These are the timeless questions that have lingered in the hearts and minds of people across generations, across cultures, and across time itself. From the ancient traditions of religion to the cutting-edge discoveries of modern science, humanity has been on an endless quest for answers. Yet, one path offers a perspective so profound, so deeply rooted in wisdom, that it transcends the boundaries of time: Buddhism. Today, we're diving into a conversation that goes beyond the surface. We're not just exploring human origins as a scientific phenomenon or debating dates and timelines. Instead, we're peeling back the layers to reveal something much deeper: the why of human existence. Why are we here? What does it truly mean to be human? And how can we find meaning in a universe that often feels vast and uncertain? Buddhism teaches that the answers lie not outside of us, but within. It's not just about where we physically come from. It's about where our thoughts, actions, and intentions are rooted. It's about understanding the intricate web of cause and effect, the interconnectedness of all life, and the impermanence that defines existence. According to Buddhist teachings, our journey as humans isn't random or accidental. It's a rare and precious opportunity, a chance to awaken, to grow, and to break free from the cycle of suffering. This isn't about blind belief. It's about direct experience. It's about learning to see the world and ourselves clearly through the lens of mindfulness and wisdom. Think about this for a moment. What if being human isn't just a question of biology or evolution? What if it's a spiritual invitation? What if every joy, every challenge, every moment of doubt or discovery is pointing us towards something greater, toward enlightenment? In Buddhism, life is seen as a continuous flow, shaped by our karma, the actions we take and the intentions behind them. Our thoughts, our words, our deeds, they create ripples, not just in this life, but beyond. This perspective reminds us of our power and our responsibility. It reminds us that each moment offers a choice: to act with kindness, to live with awareness, and to walk a path that leads to liberation. So, why are we here? To grow, to learn, to awaken, to find our way back to the truth of who we really are beneath all the noise and distractions. And through this journey, we come to understand that our existence isn't isolated or insignificant. It's profoundly connected to everything around us. This isn't just philosophy or theory, it's a practical way of living. And the more we embrace it, the more we discover that the answers to life's biggest questions were never somewhere far away. They were always here, waiting for us to slow down, to look within, and to listen. So, take a deep breath. Let go of the rush, the expectations, and the doubts. Because today, we're not just exploring Buddhism. We're exploring what it means to be human. And what you're about to discover might just change the way you see yourself and your place in the universe forever. Unlike many other traditions that center around a single moment of creation, Buddhism offers a perspective that feels vast, timeless, and deeply profound. In Buddhist cosmology, time and existence are not seen as linear or finite. There is no ultimate beginning, no grand moment when everything began, and no fixed point where it will all end. Instead, existence is understood as cyclical, a continuous flow like the turning of a wheel, without a start or finish. The Buddha taught that dwelling on speculative questions about origins, where we come from, or when it all began, can be a distraction. These questions, while fascinating, often pull us away from what truly matters: understanding our suffering, addressing its causes, and finding liberation. But let's take a moment to imagine this Buddhist view of existence. Picture life as an infinite cycle, a wheel spinning endlessly through time and space. Within this cycle, everything is interconnected. The birth of a star, millions of light years away, is connected to the breath you just took. The smallest moments of human consciousness, your thoughts, your actions, are part of this vast, interconnected web. It's a perspective that not only challenges how we think about time, but also invites us to reflect deeply on our place within the universe. This cyclical view doesn't just stand in contrast to the linear narratives many of us are familiar with. It transforms how we see ourselves and our responsibilities. It reminds us that nothing exists in isolation. Every thought we have, every word we speak, every action we take sends ripples through the fabric of existence. Imagine throwing a stone into a still pond. The ripples spread outward, touching everything in their path. This is how our actions, guided by intention, shape the world around us, not just for today, but far into the future. In Buddhism, this idea is tied to the concept of karma. Karma isn't about punishment or reward. It's about cause and effect. It's about understanding that everything we do has consequences, whether we see them immediately or not. And with this understanding comes a profound sense of responsibility. The Buddha's teachings challenge us to stop looking outward for answers about the origin of existence and instead turn inward. Why are we suffering? How can we live in a way that creates peace, not harm? How can we break free from the cycles of craving, attachment, and ignorance that keep us bound? These questions, the Buddha taught, are far more important than the mystery of where it all began. So, what does this mean for us as humans? It means that life isn't random or meaningless. It's an opportunity, a precious and rare chance to wake up, to see the truth, and to transform our hearts and minds. It means that every moment, no matter how small, holds the potential for awakening. When we embrace this view, we start to see life differently. The interconnectedness of all things inspires compassion. The cyclical nature of existence reminds us to act with care, knowing that our choices have far-reaching effects. And the focus on alleviating suffering gives us a purpose that's both deeply personal and universally meaningful. Buddhism doesn't offer a definitive answer to the mystery of human origins. Instead, it offers a path, a way of living that helps us navigate this infinite, interconnected cycle with wisdom and compassion. And perhaps, as we walk this path, we'll discover that the answers we seek were never about the beginning or the end. They were always about how we choose to live in the here and now. Of all the profound teachings in Buddhism, few are as humbling and awe-inspiring as the concept of beginningless time. It's a perspective that completely shifts how we view not only our lives, but the entire universe. The Buddha spoke of this in the Aggañña Sutta, where he described the cycles of rebirth as endless. No starting point, no first cause, no initial beginning. Imagine this, a mountain so immense that it towers far beyond what the human eye can see. Now, imagine that once every 100 years, a silk cloth gently brushes against it. That single touch, delicate, fleeting, barely makes a mark. And yet, over an unfathomable span of time, the mountain would eventually erode to nothing. Even that staggering time span is shorter than a single kalpa, a vast measure of time in Buddhism that defies comprehension. This isn't just a poetic metaphor, it's a wake-up call. It reminds us of the boundless cycles of existence we've traveled through, birth, death, and rebirth, again and again. In this context, our current life is just a tiny ripple in an endless ocean of time. It's both humbling and empowering. Why does this teaching matter? Because it brings into sharp focus the fleeting nature of our present existence. The Buddha didn't share these teachings to overwhelm us with the enormity of the universe. Instead, he wanted to guide us toward what truly matters, our actions, our intentions, and the impact we leave behind. Think about it. If time has no beginning and stretches infinitely, then our choices, right here, right now, carry immense weight. Each thought, each word, each deed contributes to the karmic patterns that shape not only our lives, but the lives of countless others. In a world where everything is interconnected, nothing is insignificant. This teaching also challenges us to see beyond the surface of our daily struggles and desires. It's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of material success, fleeting pleasures, or even the distractions of modern life. But when viewed through the lens of beginningless time, These pursuits seem small, temporary fixes for a much deeper journey. Instead, Buddhism invites us to ask, what are we doing with this rare and precious human life? Are we using it to create positive change? Are we cultivating compassion, mindfulness, and wisdom? Or are we caught in the same patterns that have bound us for lifetimes? The concept of beginningless time isn't meant to discourage us. It's a reminder of the incredible opportunity we have in this very moment. Out of countless rebirths, we've arrived here as humans with the ability to reflect, to grow, and to awaken. So take a moment to pause, consider the vastness of time and space, and then bring your focus back to this single moment. This is where change begins. This is where the endless cycle can shift. And this is where you can take a step closer to liberation. Understanding beginningless time isn't about feeling small in the face of eternity. It's about realizing the power of now. In this infinite process, your actions, your choices, and your intentions matter more than ever. Let this teaching inspire you to look inward, to live mindfully, and to walk the path with purpose. Because even in the endlessness of time, this moment, this life, holds the key to transformation. Let's take a step back in time, far beyond what we can imagine, and explore one of the most fascinating teachings in Buddhism, the story of human origins as described in the Aggañña Sutta. This is not just a story about where we came from in a physical sense. It's a profound narrative that ties our evolution to the choices we make, the desires we cultivate, and the karmic forces that shape our existence. The Buddha spoke of a time when beings were very different from the humans we know today. These early beings weren't bound by physical forms as we are now. They were luminous, radiant, and mind-made. They existed in a state of pure joy and nourishment that came not from physical food, but from their own inner light, a profound sense of bliss. In this original state, there was no greed, no craving, no separation between beings. There was unity, harmony, and a deep connection to something far greater. But then, something shifted. Curiosity arose. Craving began to stir. Some of these beings, driven by desire, tasted an earthly substance that had appeared on the surface of the newly forming earth. It may seem like a small act, but it marked a turning point, a ripple that would lead to profound changes. The moment they consumed this substance, their luminous bodies began to fade, their inner light dimmed, and they became more attached to the physical world. Craving grew stronger, and with it came a sense of separation. As their radiant forms began to dissolve, distinctions among beings emerged. Some became more beautiful, others less so. Comparison, judgment, and pride arose, emotions that had never existed before. Over time, physical forms began to take shape, becoming heavier, more defined, and more rooted in the material world. What started as pure consciousness gradually evolved into the human bodies we know today. But this isn't just a story of biological evolution, it's something far deeper. It's about karmic evolution. The Buddha's teachings remind us that our actions, thoughts, and desires shape not only our individual lives, but the very fabric of existence. Those early beings didn't evolve into physical forms by accident. It was a reflection of their choices, their attachments, and the karmic seeds they planted. This perspective invites us to see evolution in a completely new light. It's not just about biology or survival of the fittest. It's about the interplay between our consciousness and the world around us. Every action, every thought, and every craving has the power to shape who we are, not just physically, but spiritually and karmically. The Aggañña Sutta challenges us to look at ourselves and our world with fresh eyes. What cravings are we feeding? What choices are we making that might be shaping the future, not just for ourselves, but for generations to come? Are we, like those early beings, losing our inner light by grasping at external pleasures? Or are we using this human life as an opportunity to reconnect with the luminous, joyful nature that still exists within us. This story isn't just ancient mythology, it's a mirror. It asks us to reflect on our lives and the path we're walking. Are we moving closer to harmony, wisdom, and liberation? Or are we being pulled deeper into the cycle of craving and attachment? The Buddha didn't share this teaching to dwell on the past, but to help us understand the present. It's a reminder that our origins, our purpose, and our destiny are all intertwined. By understanding where we come from, both physically and karmically, we can begin to take control of where we're headed. So, take a moment to reflect. What does it mean to be human? How do our choices today ripple out into the future? And how can we live in a way that reconnects us to our true nature, luminous, joyful, and free? This teaching isn't just a story. It's an invitation to awaken, to transform, and to rediscover the radiant light within each of us. As human beings began to settle into physical forms, the foundations of early societies started to emerge. People gathered together, forming communities that could share resources, provide protection, and offer companionship. It was a time of necessity, a natural progression for survival. But as these groups grew, so did the complexity of their relationships. Language began to evolve, allowing for deeper communication. Rules were established to maintain order, and roles within society became more defined. Leaders, workers, healers, and teachers all emerged, each serving a purpose. And yet, with all this progress, something else quietly took root: greed, conflict, and inequality. The very systems created to unite people also began to divide them. Differences in power, wealth, and status created struggles that have persisted across generations. The Buddha, in his profound wisdom, recognized this duality of human society. He taught that while the formation of communities is inevitable, it is our responsibility to ensure that they do not become the breeding ground for suffering. The Buddha's teachings remind us that human existence is not just about progress, it's about moral evolution. It's not enough to build larger cities, craft intricate laws, or pursue technological advancements. True progress lies in aligning our actions with ethical principles like generosity, compassion, and mindfulness. Only then can we rise above the divisions and conflicts that threaten to pull us apart. Generosity, at its core, is not just about giving material things. It's about sharing our kindness, our time, and our energy with others. Compassion means seeing beyond ourselves, understanding the struggles of others, and offering support without judgment. And mindfulness is the key to grounding ourselves in the present moment, observing our thoughts and actions, and ensuring they do not harm ourselves or others. The challenges of society are not new. They've existed since the earliest communities. But we have the tools, through the teachings of Buddhism, to face these challenges with wisdom and grace. Our human journey is significant not because of what we achieve, but because of how we choose to live, how we treat others, and how we cultivate inner peace amidst the chaos. Every step we take in aligning our lives with these principles brings us closer to the true purpose of being human. It's not just about surviving or advancing. It's about awakening to a deeper understanding of life. This is the heart of the Buddha's message and the timeless guidance he offers for the human experience. It's truly fascinating to explore how modern science and Buddhist cosmology intersect, offering insights that bridge ancient wisdom and contemporary understanding. In Buddhism, the concept of cyclical universes, an endless cycle of creation, existence, and dissolution, feels strikingly similar to scientific theories like the Big Bang and the Big Crunch. Both perspectives acknowledge that the universe is not static, but constantly evolving, expanding, and contracting in ways we are only beginning to comprehend. Buddhist teachings also speak of countless world systems, vast and infinite, far beyond what the human mind can easily grasp. This idea resonates with the scientific theory of multiverses, a proposition that there may be innumerable universes, each with its own unique conditions and realities. It's remarkable to think that over 2,500 years ago, The Buddha presented a vision of the cosmos that aligns with some of the most cutting-edge ideas in modern physics. Even the evolutionary process described in the Aggañña Sutta feels deeply connected to scientific theories, such as Darwin's theory of evolution. The sutta speaks of beings adapting to their environment over time, changing in form and function based on the conditions around them. This parallels the scientific understanding of natural selection and the way life evolves in response to its surroundings. But here's where Buddhism takes us beyond the boundaries of science. While science examines the physical and material aspects of existence, Buddhism invites us to reflect on the karmic and ethical dimensions of evolution. It's not just about how life changes externally, it's about how our actions, our choices, and our intentions shape not only our individual lives, but the very fabric of existence. Karma, in Buddhist thought, is more than cause and effect. It is the energy we put into the world through our thoughts, words, and deeds, and it ripples outward, influencing the collective experience of all beings. This understanding reminds us of our profound interconnectedness, urging us to live with greater awareness and compassion. Every action matters, not just on a personal level, but on a universal scale. While science seeks to understand the mechanics of the universe, Buddhism offers a guide for navigating it with wisdom and purpose. It teaches us that evolution is not merely a physical process, but a spiritual journey. Our growth as individuals, our ability to cultivate virtues like kindness and mindfulness, and our capacity to live ethically are what truly define progress. So, as we marvel at the wonders of the cosmos and the intricate processes of life, let us also remember the deeper truth. We are not just observers of this universe. We are participants in its unfolding. And through the choices we make, we have the power to shape not only our destiny, but the destiny of all beings. The intersection of science and Buddhism is more than a meeting of ideas. It's a call to expand our understanding of what it means to be human. It's a reminder that while knowledge of the universe is extraordinary, wisdom in how we live within it is what brings true harmony and fulfillment. The Buddha once gave a powerful analogy to illustrate the rarity and preciousness of human birth. He described a vast ocean, stretching endlessly in every direction, with a single wooden yoke floating on its surface. Deep below the waves swims a blind turtle, surfacing only once every 100 years. The chance of that turtle poking its head through the yoke is how rare it is to be born as a human being. This profound teaching reminds us of the incredible opportunity we've been given. Why is human life so precious? Because it offers the perfect balance of pleasure and suffering necessary for spiritual growth. In higher realms, beings live in states of immense bliss, so consumed by pleasure that they rarely think about change, impermanence, or the path to liberation. In lower realms, the suffering is so overwhelming that there's little space for reflection or understanding. But as humans, we exist in a unique middle ground, a space where joy and pain intertwine, giving us the chance to truly see the nature of existence. It's in this human realm that we can encounter the Dharma, the Buddha's teachings, and apply them to our lives. It's here that we can cultivate mindfulness, develop compassion, and nurture wisdom. Every challenge we face as humans, loss, hardship, and even the inevitability of death, becomes a teacher, guiding us closer to the truth. And every moment of joy, love, and connection reminds us of the beauty and interdependence of all life. But this opportunity is fleeting. Life is impermanent, and the conditions that allow us to be here, now, are incredibly rare. The Buddha's words remind us not to take this human existence for granted. We are not here merely to survive or chase temporary pleasures. We are here to awaken to our full potential, to realize that within each of us lies the capacity for profound wisdom and boundless compassion. The path is not always easy. It requires effort, self-reflection, and a willingness to confront our own ignorance and attachments. But the rewards are immeasurable. The Buddha taught that through understanding the Dharma and walking the path of virtue and mindfulness, we can free ourselves from the cycle of birth and death. we can transcend suffering and discover a state of true peace, nirvana. So, as we navigate the ups and downs of human life, let's remember the gift we've been given. Let's honor this rare opportunity by living with intention, seeking wisdom, and practicing kindness toward ourselves and others. Every day, every moment, is a chance to take one step closer to liberation. Human life is not just about existing, it's about awakening. It's about realizing the depth of our potential and embracing the journey toward ultimate freedom. This is the heart of the Buddha's message, and it's a reminder that the path begins here, in this precious and rare human experience. So what can we truly take away from all of this? Understanding Buddhist perspectives on human origins and the nature of life is far more than an intellectual pursuit. It's a guide for how we live. These teachings hold a practical wisdom that can transform the way we approach our daily lives, our relationships, and our purpose. Buddhism teaches us to live mindfully. This means being present in each moment, fully aware of our thoughts, words, and actions. In a world where we are constantly pulled in different directions by distractions, desires, and worries, mindfulness offers a way to reconnect with what is real. It allows us to slow down, to breathe, and to appreciate the fleeting beauty of life. When we live mindfully, even the simplest experiences, a kind word, a shared meal, the warmth of the sun, become profound. It also teaches us to act ethically, understanding that our actions have consequences not just for ourselves, but for the world around us. In every choice we make, we have the opportunity to practice kindness, generosity, and compassion. These are not just lofty ideals. They are the foundation of a life well lived. Imagine a world where more people approached life with this awareness, where every action was guided by a commitment to reduce harm and increase happiness. This is the transformative power of Buddhist wisdom. And then there is the lesson of impermanence, the reality that everything in life is constantly changing. At first, this can seem unsettling. We cling to what we love and resist what we fear, hoping to hold on to what feels stable. But the Buddha taught that embracing impermanence is the key to true freedom. When we accept that everything is in flux, we learn to let go of attachments and live with greater peace. We stop chasing after material success or external achievements, recognizing that they are temporary and can never truly fulfill us. What truly matters, then, is what we cultivate within ourselves. Inner peace, compassion, and wisdom. These are the qualities that endure, the treasures we can carry with us no matter where life takes us. When we prioritize these values, we shift our focus from simply surviving to truly thriving. We begin to see life not as a race to the finish line, but as a series of precious moments, each one offering us a chance to grow, to learn, and to make a positive impact on the world. Life is fleeting, and that's precisely what makes it so meaningful. The fact that we won't be here forever is not something to fear, it's something to embrace. It's a reminder to live fully, to love deeply, and to approach each day with gratitude. Every moment we are alive is an opportunity to awaken to the beauty of existence and to share that light with others. So let's take these teachings to heart. Let's live with intention, guided by mindfulness, compassion, and the understanding that life's impermanence is not a limitation, but a gift. In doing so, we honor the rare and precious opportunity of being human and move closer to the wisdom and peace that the Buddha so beautifully illuminated. This isn't just about ideas or philosophy, it's about how we choose to live, here and now. And in that choice lies the power to transform not only our own lives, but the world around us.